Okay, homework 9, number 12. In this problem, you're given a system. There are two boxes. The first box has 4 balls. Second box has 17 balls. We're calling the first box box A. We're calling the second box box B. And then every 1 minute, 8 balls are added to box A. Second minute, 6 balls added to box B. Third minute, 3 balls removed from A. Fourth minute, 7 balls removed from B. And then every third minute, 5 balls are transferred from box A and moved to box B. And you're being asked to write a while loop to determine which box will reach 150 balls first and the time required to do so, and plot the change in the number of balls versus time for the two boxes. So this is similar to number 11, but we have a lot more expressions. So I'm going to copy this given and go to MATLAB. So let's go to MATLAB and I'm going to open a new script, paste, and just let me comment them. And now let's slowly go over them. So we need to keep track of the balls in boxes A and B. So let's create box A balls, we'll call it 4, initially has 4 balls, and then box B balls is equal to 17, right? This is the given. And now I need to write a while loop to determine which box will reach 150 balls first. But now I have two boxes, so the while loop will depend on two logical expressions. In order to aggregate two logical expressions together in MATLAB, you need to use this operator. So I'm going to say while, I'm going to open a bracket, box A balls is less than or equal to 150. Then I'm going to, let's write this properly, 150, and then I'm going to use the AND expression. Box B balls less than or equal to 150. So what this AND operator does here is that it makes sure that the while loop will keep running as long as both conditions are satisfied. So if one of these conditions is satisfied, so if the number of balls in either of the boxes is greater than 150, then the while loop is going to end. And this AND command is very useful when you want your while loop or you want your if statement to depend on more than one logical expression, right? So while box A less than 150 and box B is less than 150, I'm gonna write a bunch of commands. So let me end this here. Then I'm gonna write a bunch of commands which does these objectives. Okay, so let's write. So this is my while loop and this is the end statement of the while loop right here. And I'm gonna have a counter for the time because time is also seems to be the other thing I need to keep track of. So I'm gonna say time equals time plus 1, and then I'm outside the loop. I'm gonna initialize time to be equal to 1. And so because time is incrementing every 1 minute, so every 1 minute, so I'm looking at the givens one by one. Every 1 minute, 8 balls are added to box A. So every 1 minute, box A is equal to box A plus 8, right? Every 1 minute, 8 balls added to box A. Every second minute, 6 balls are added to box B. So in order to do this, I need to check the time. So if remainder of time by 2 is equal to 0, so checks if it's every second minute. If it's every second minute, I'm gonna add 6 balls to box B. So box B is equal to box B plus 6, right? Add 6 balls to box B. Then I'm going to end this if statement. Then I need to, so this is done. This is done. I need to go to my third expression. Every third minute, 3 balls are removed from box A. So I'm going to copy this body here and modify it for third minute. So every third minute checks for every third minute. I'm having 3 balls removed from box A. So box A is equal to box A minus 3. And yeah, we'll just make sure we're using the same notation. So I'm using box A underscore balls. I'm using this underscore in all of them. So let's make sure we have it in all of them. Okay. So this is done here. Every 4th minute, 7 balls are removed from box B. So again, I'm taking this if statement, I'm modifying it for 4th minute. So if checks if every 4th minute, and then 7 balls are removed from box B. Box B is equal to box B minus 7. Right. So I'm done with these 4. Then I have my last expression. Every 3rd minute, a little demon takes 5 balls from box A and places them in box B. Okay, sounds good. So instead of creating a new if-else statement, I'm just gonna check my if-else statement for box A, right? So again, so I'm gonna have box A balls because I'm taking 5 balls from box A, so I'm gonna just write box A ball minus 5, and this is taking 5 sorry, and then I'm adding them to box B, right? Plus 5. So I added my last expression into the loop, checking for every 3rd minute. Let's fix these loops, these comments next to the loops. So every 3rd minute, I'm removing 3 balls from box A, and every 4th minute, I'm removing 7 balls from box B. Okay, let's check that we've satisfied all the givens. So every 1 minute, 8 balls are added to box A. I have it here, box A plus 8. Every second minute, 6 balls are added to box B. So every second minute here, I have 6 balls added to box B. Every 3rd minute, 3 balls are removed from box A. And here I'm missing an S in these. And I'm missing an S here. Just added. Just make sure the notation is consistent. Otherwise, you'll end up dropping. End up just dropping one of these commands. Anyways, every 3rd minute, 3 balls are removed from box A. So checks time equals to 3, then removes 3. And then every 4th minute, 7 balls are removed from box B. Every 4th minute, I'm removing 7. And then finally, every 3rd minute, I'm transferring 5 balls from box A and box B into box B. So in the 3rd minute if-else statement, instead of creating a new one, I'm just modifying it. I'm removing 5 from box A and I'm adding them to box B. Okay, so this loop does all of these. So what do we want to extract out of this? Determine which box will reach 150 balls first. So I need to check which box has reached 150 balls first. And the time required to do so. So this loop will give me the time which is required to do so, right? So time, I'm gonna show time, then I'm gonna show box A balls and box B balls, right? So after exiting the loop, I'm gonna show the time, show the number of balls in box A, and show the number of balls in box B. And this will tell you which one reached the 150 balls first, or if you want it to be more specific, you can write an if-else statement outside the loop, where if box A balls is greater than or equal to 150, then if this is the case, then you're gonna display, then you're gonna basically, show box A, else you're gonna show box B, right? So this if else statement outside the loop will only show you which box reached 150 balls first. And then plot the change in number of balls versus time for the two boxes. Okay, so in order to do this, I need to create an array. So at the end here of my while loop, I'm gonna create an array. Let's create two arrays, t initially 0, and this will be an array that keeps time, and then I'm gonna create array, call it box box a equal to 0, and this is the array that keeps track of box a. Let me add the comment sign here, and similarly box b is equal to 0, and this will be the array that keeps track of box b. Okay, so before doing this, let me just write fig. Hopefully a figure shows up, or let's write figure. And I want to dock this onto my screen here so that's easier to display. So yeah, so I created a space for the figure, and let me plot. So I'm gonna plot time versus, so we called it what, t for time, box a. And let's make sure our notation capital B at the start, t box a, and then I'm gonna hold, and then let's here show it as and I'm gonna plot again t box b, and I'm gonna show it as got star and red. Okay, just cosmetic stuff. And let's say title is changing balls in boxes A and B versus time. X label will be time in minutes. Y label will be number of balls, and let's put grid on. Okay, so these are just cosmetics for the figure here. So my code is divided into three parts. The bottom part here, plotting. This part here will show time either box reaches 150 and which box will reach 150, and then this loop will just execute the given. Okay, so let's try and run it and see, troubleshoot any errors. So I'm gonna run. It will ask you to save it in a location where you can find it. So this homework 9 number 12, let me save it, and let's see if we have any. So we have a bunch of errors. Let's try and resolve them. Homework illegal use of else. So if this, then else. Oh yeah, so my if has to start with a small I. That's why I did it. So it couldn't recognize the if, so it did not recognize the else standing by itself. So let's run it, see if it makes sense. So so you can see the time here. Oh, so we forgot to do one thing. We created the arrays and we forgot to store any information in them. That's why our plot is only 1 point. So let's fill out the arrays. T of time is equal to time, right? Box A of time is equal to box A underscore balls, and box B of time is equal to box B underscore balls. So this should solve it. So yeah, I forgot to store the values in the arrays which I'm plotting. That's why I don't see anything on this plot. So let's write CLC clear. Let's just good housekeeping the start of our code, and let's run it. See if it makes sense here. And here you go. So now we're seeing box number of balls in boxes A and B, but I only see one thing, right? So I'm not seeing really the box A ones. So this, we need to troubleshoot this somehow. Maybe there's an error here. Let's see. This is an issue. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Not sure why it's not happy with this blue. Maybe it has to be a space. Yeah, here we go. So if I put a space, it's gonna show them. So the blue one is box A, the red one is box B, and you can see which box reaches 150 balls first. It's box A, and it's gonna print out box A balls. It reaches 156, and the time required for it to reach that is 29 minutes. So this is a loop for this problem. It's not an easy problem in terms of, so the logic is straightforward, but in terms of organization and linking the different things going on takes a bit of thinking. Try to attempt it. If you have any questions, come to the office hours or go to the SI hours, and should be able to do it.